When I was 12, there was an abandoned apartment building at the end of my neighborhood. It had been empty for as long as anyone could remember. Every kid on the block knew the stories about it. People claimed strange noises echoed through the building after dark, and some even said they had seen lights moving behind the broken windows, despite the fact that there had been no electricity there for years. Most of us laughed those stories off and called them urban legends. One Friday evening, my best friend Tyler challenged me to go inside. "If it's really haunted," he said with a grin, "let's prove it." I didn't want to look scared, so I agreed. Just before sunset, we climbed through a broken window at the back of the building. The moment we stepped inside, a cold, damp smell filled the air. Dust floated in the fading light, and every footstep echoed through the empty halls. As we looked around the first room, something immediately caught our attention. Near the ceiling, someone had painted 4 words in large black letters. "I am dead." Tyler laughed nervously. "Just graffiti," he said. I nodded and forced a smile. "Yeah, somebody's trying to scare people." Trying to ignore the uneasy feeling creeping into our minds, we continued exploring. We wandered into what looked like an old kitchen where another message was painted across the cracked wall. "I am waiting upstairs." Tyler stopped walking. "I don't like this," he whispered. I pretended to be confident, even though my stomach had tightened. "Come on," I said. "It's probably just someone playing a prank." The wooden staircase groaned beneath our weight as we climbed to the second floor. At the end of a narrow hallway stood a single closed door. Across the faded paint, another message had been written. "You'll find me here." Tyler grabbed my arm. "Let's just leave." I shook my head and reached for the doorknob. "We're already here." The hinges let out a long, painful creak as the door slowly opened. The room was completely empty. There was no furniture, no broken glass, nothing except 2 closed doors, one on the left and one on the right. Between them, another message covered the wall. "My head is on the left. My body is on the right." Tyler's face lost all color. "I'm done," he said, backing toward the door. Before I could stop him, he turned and sprinted down the hallway. I shouted after him, but his footsteps quickly faded into silence. For a moment, I stood alone. My heart was pounding, but I refused to let fear win. Taking a deep breath, I opened the door on the right and stepped inside. The room looked completely empty. Then I noticed tiny words written on the far wall. "My body is below you." I looked down and saw faint letters carved into the old wooden floorboards. Carefully stepping back, I finally managed to read the entire message. "My head is behind you. Don't turn around." A slow creaking sound came from behind me. Every instinct screamed at me to run. Instead, I turned. The door behind me slowly swung open by itself. A dark object rolled across the floor, bouncing softly until it stopped only a few inches from my shoes. My blood ran cold. It was Tyler's head. His eyes were wide open, staring straight at me. His mouth hung open as if he had been trying to scream. I don't remember screaming myself. I only remember throwing myself through the broken window. I crashed onto the ground below, shattering my arm, but somehow managed to get back on my feet. Ignoring the pain, I ran all the way home, crying and yelling for my parents. The police arrived within minutes and searched the abandoned building from top to bottom. They found no messages on the walls. There was no blood, no footprints, and no sign that anyone else had been inside. It was as if everything I had seen had simply vanished. Tyler was officially reported missing, and for 3 days investigators searched every inch of the building. Finally, they pried up the rotten floorboards in the upstairs room. Hidden beneath them was Tyler's body. His head was never found. The abandoned apartment building was demolished a month later, and today a parking lot stands where it once stood. But every now and then, workers claim to find 4 familiar words scratched into the concrete. I am dead. No matter how many times the words are painted over, they always come back.